What's up, guys? On today's episode of Bourbon Budz, we'll be reviewing Bardstown's Origin Series Wheated Bourbon.
It comes in at 106 proof. It is the first bourbon that has been distilled, aged, and bottled at the Bardstown facility.
So, on a 6 year age profile, this bourbon is 53% corn, 39% wheat, and 8% barley.
We're going to give y'all a fresh pop. We're going to smell it, taste it, tell you what we feel, give it a good review.
So, we actually got to visit Bardstown's distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky about 2 months ago. And what an exciting experience. It was actually really state of the art, one of the newest facilities in the area. Such a beautiful place.
We actually got to sample some bourbon straight out of the barrel before it is available to the public. So that was a pretty cool experience. All right, here we go. Go with a fresh pour. All right, let's give it a little smell.
All right, so this bourbon smells kind of young. You can tell that it's only about a 6 year bourbon. It doesn't have that same charred smell like a 10 or a 12 year or some of these double oaks and stuff like that. But the wheated, being a wheated bourbon, I feel like it does have a sweet aroma.
My first initial smell was, whoa, that's kind of spicy. And as I take a couple, different sniffs of it, I can get a hint of oak and still a little spicy.
So for being a 6 year bourbon, it's got pretty good legs. They run a little quick, but they're still pretty good legs. There's a bunch of them. Well,
Yep.
let's see what she tastes like. Cheers.
Cheers.
That is good.
Wow. That was not at all what I was expecting from the smell.
Definitely sweet on the front end, kind of a vanilla. Oh, and she actually got a sweet on the back end too. A little burn, not much. A little bit of that Kentucky hug they talk about up there, Bardstown area.
Yeah. It's it's got a little spice. It tastes a little spice. It's got a little barrel. You can taste a little barrel flavor, a little oak.
So this definitely tastes a lot better than most of the average 6 year bourbons. We're bigger fans of the 10 year age profile, and this tastes a lot more similar to the 10 year age profile. It's got a very sweet front end, back end, but nothing over sweet. A little hint of vanilla.
As I sip it a few times, it's it's smooth. It's
Very smooth.
sweet.
Quite honestly, that's delicious. That is really good.
So as I keep sipping this, I know I talked about the spice. I'm kind of getting a hint of like a cinnamon, just a subtle cinnamon taste.
Definitely the bacon spices. Definitely the cinnamon. I can taste the cinnamon. It's still got a little bit of vanilla taste. Not real spicy. On the front end, at first, it had a little spice to it, but it's starting to mellow out a lot, and it's really, really tasty.
It's very smooth, not too strong tasting. It's pretty good. I'm a fan of a wheated bourbon, so for me, this is uh this is pretty up there with the rest of them.
Yeah, it's definitely a delicious pour. And then we're getting this out of the neck pour on a fresh crack. So, I mean, getting halfway into this bottle, I can only imagine it'll be so much better. So much better.
And it's changing as I sip it. So this last sip kind of got a hint of like a raisin flavor.
That is really delicious. I'm not always favored to all the weeded bourbons, but I do like weeded bourbon. Um, Honestly, this is one of the better weeded bourbons I've tried. It's comparable to some of the higher end Weller stuff, and when I say higher end, I mean closer to like the full proof. Maybe the I can't say antique. I'll say closer to like the 12 year. The 12 years, it's really close to that. Definitely much better than the special reserve. I would say I would rank this at I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. What you think?
Mm, I'm right there with you, about a 7 or 8.
All right, so in our ranking system, we add our points together. We each rank to 10 and we add them together and it gives us a total ranking inside of 20 points. So my 8 and his 7 give us 15 out of 20. So we call this Bardstown Origin Series Wheated Bourbon a 15 out of 20. So there you have it. That was Bardstown Origin Series Wheated Bourbon, 106 proof, 6-year age profile. Absolutely delicious. Cheers.
Cheers.
So on the nose, I take a little bit of some of the baking spices, something a little. Yeah, it sounds fake as fuck. What baking spices smell like.
Yes,
That's fucking good.
it is good.
That is good. And we love fresh cracks.